Mysterium Iron Man, Mark 72 from the Invincible Iron Man comic. This is cool. So he's like, he's made this suit that has like this indestructible material. It's black and red and gold. It's pretty cool. So landscape page, pencil eraser, hit pause if I go too fast. Probably a complicated one, so take your time. Head is up here. I'm going to add the hand shooting a blaster. So head up here. I'll probably zoom in because there's a bit of detail in his helmet. So we're going to like start with the sort of swoop, the top part that goes like across his helmet. So for example, this will be your middle. Okay. That's like the center of his head. Now this keeps going either side of this. Up the other side then, right? So it's just a big sort of curve. Like it has angles in it like a little bit as well, because it is metal and all that. They do draw it sort of comic book style, so it's not exactly, it's not kind of finalized. I think the suit stuff, it's different, and I looked through the comic, it's different every now and then. So his eyes in this space, right? So you the start of his two eyes there, and then we come across up into the corner. So this is like the blue section of his eye, and then this comes across diagonal and then up into there. Now this has some like darkness around it, with some, if you're drawing a comic book style, it's kind of black just all around it. All around the blue of his glowing blue eye. It's like a heavy sort of thick black section. Kind of like a shadow or something. Of the inside of the helmet, And then there might be like some extra sort of edge lines and stuff around this, because he is, just extra little details like that just make the drawing a bit cooler. Little sort of edge lines like that. Thin. Very thin. So then the bottom half of this face mask, so we'll go the gold parts first. Okay, so curving around here. And then it comes down all the way to his mouth. Curves in and out first. This is the bottom of his chin even. Now I've seen this kind of drawn different ways. So, I've seen it like a red section and a gold section. I can just see gold in this version, so I'll copy what I can see. But it does change. This is like the bottom of his chin. And then his mouth seems to be sort of here. And then there is this sort of 3D line that runs down everything sort of here. Down his cheek and down his chin there. So his jaw then, so he's got this, it looks red anyway in the section that I can see. So we go out for the jaw and then up to the cheek there, and then out this side to there. And then there's all these detail lines inside, so like some red and like an edge line. Bum, 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 bum. Do, do, do. So you'll notice now his head is like tilted a little bit. Right, so this keeps going, right? So side of his head goes up a bit further because there's more sort of gold and stuff. Right, so this goes in. Up. And then it goes across to there. So he's got like more red and gold plates on his head. So there's like a red one that comes in. So we'll go just up the side, right? And it kind of like bumps because there's like a gold one there. And then I think a black section. We bump across the top. I think this comes out a bit. Down. Bump. There. You just have these pointy bits in the corners. Right, and then the red plate comes down here, sort of in the middle. And then it looks like there's another gold plate here. And then here as well. Give these a little bit of edge. It's unclear if there's anything else like inside here, like any more panels, but I think that's all I can see anyway in the comic book drawing. Now, armor. Chest. Right, so his neck sort of sticks out here, right? So it kind of like goes into there. And then this chest plate armor swoops around this. Disappears into a shadow in his shoulder, and then his trapezius kind of goes there as well. So we get like the general shapes of his anatomy first, and then we'll try to add like lots of armor plates and stuff there as well. So his neck is on this side is real high up. It kind of like bumps and steps out a bit. He's got a super big shoulder armor thing here. But this sort of armor plate is here first, and then it goes down, and then it comes across, and there's the circle thing inside here. So we'll just get this. So the center of his chest is like there. Right, and then this just comes out, down, across. So lots of bumps then on the sort of side body here, because there's lots of plates and stuff just sort of going down that way. His back is real wide, so his back is like here, And again, lots of bumps and armor plates and stuff. And his arm comes out from there. So there's a little sort of circle just beside this where his sort of arm comes out, okay? Like, and there's a shadow inside of it. Okay, so there's like a shoulder pad here. Very big, pointy even. And it seems to go behind the bicep, which is kind of just coming out here. And his forearm kind of sticks off that way. So his shoulder's like in there somewhere probably. And then, so this hand sticks out here. So again, we have like a very large, like bigger than you'd think now, shoulder pad. Goes behind another, like a forearm wrist guard. Now, so we'll deal with all the armor here, and then we'll do his hand sticking out shooting the blaster, because details and stuff. So we start detailing up the neck. It's pretty complicated now. There's like this red and gold neck armor here. And then there's like some stuff all coming across his neck in here, kind of black sort of layered armor. And then we have red and gold again in there. And then like there's kind of just shadow and stuff then there. Kind of like just shadow in here. It's all sort of black, but I see there's probably like details and stuff in there. So then this sort of circular armor plate, it's encased in this armor plate there. Okay, so if I was to guess, so we'd go here, here, and then it would go around. Right, and then some details down here, across, up. Right, there's another sort of circular ring inside. Glowing sort of blue. And then these sort of edge lines and stuff on this as well. Right, and then looks like there's like a black section with a light inside. Kind of glowing blue light in there. And then we have a gold plate coming underneath the chest. Kind of joins that section of his rib. And then this comes down. What way does that go? So it goes like there, I think. That's kind of just underneath. And then it has sort of an edge to it. And then we have another sort of light inside here. I think there's a glowing blue light in there as well. Maybe up there too. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. So we have layers of red back here. So we'll go this way. So kind of overlapping layers. There's like a back one there. Like that. And then there's all details on these. Kind of like blue lights kind of glowing. And then all these edges, you know. Kind of there in his back as well. And then I think the armor just on the front here is just black. And then there's just black layers of armor on his arm, carving across. And then there's some stuff up here, though. Sort of like a red section. And then on this as well. So incredibly detailed stuff, but hopefully it helped you out anyway. And now we'll try and do the arm. So Okay. It's not quite so like tricep going that way. It's a couple of bumps like this, and then there's all like layered armor. Like his forearm then goes here, and then he has like a red wrist guard. So it's a series of bumps with a forearm plate sort of on top, and it is a particular type of shape. It goes up, down, across, it disappears behind his thumb there, but this side then goes over behind the fingers. And then there's all these sort of armor shapes. Just all coming around his arm here. And then this wrist guard, I think, is just there. There's details on this thing. So there's like a yellow edge or gold edge to it. Seems to go up behind his finger of his hand there. And then another little edge. And then we got something else in here. Hats off to like comic book artists who draw this guy all the time. I know they simplify it in the comic, but this is a cover art, so they take their time with this one. But my God, it's complicated. So then we got fingers, so square fingers, right? So the palm of his hand is just like here, and it's kind of like a normal human hand, right? At first, right? He's got that glowing blue section that comes up the middle. But then the fingers, right? So very square. Okay, this kind of thing. And I'm putting these jaggedy bits on it just so they look a bit more like they're made of like metal blocks that are sitting on top of round fingers, you know. Right, so each of these is a square sort of finger with like lines running down the side. So you're thinking like boxes, kind of, you know, they have to have the same sort of angle either side. Easier said than done, of course. Boop, boop. Okay, and then back of his hand comes down this way. There's like a thumb sticking out here, but it's coming towards us, so it's kind of like stumpy looking. So it goes. It's kind of like that, kind of very short. So in here then we have the suggestion of that blaster. very dark because it's sitting inside. And then another sort of broken sort of circle in there, and the blast coming out of it. And then there is the sort of lines of energy that come from the base of the fingers, sort of here. Maybe one more here. I don't know if there's 4 or 3. Not clear. But we'll do maybe that many. And of course, like if you want like color blue shooting out of there, or you could just draw like lines. Okay, always a difficult one to do, but looks so cool. Iron Man, Mysterium suit, Mark 72. Hope it's helpful. Thanks for watching. See you next one. Bye.